Welcome to Shutter and Flow. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about personal style versus commercial style in your shooting. We're going to talk a little bit about what the big differences are between the two, what you should be doing a little bit, and just talk about our experience a little bit with each one of those things. And for me, I've worked with different photographers quite a bit, and I've seen some that have very different styles in terms of their personal work and their commercial work and how they represent or show that work to the world. And then I've seen some people that do a really, really good job of blending the two, right? That they're basically shooting commercial work that's very similar to their personal work. Jeremy, do you want to talk a little bit about what you shoot personally and the work that you choose to show and kind of how it relates to your commercial portfolio?
Yeah, and I think that another good point in that, before I talk about what I do, is like I also see photographers that I only see their commercial stuff, and like they may shoot some stuff for personal, but you don't see it, and either who knows, and it's just for them, or maybe they don't. Maybe they don't even shoot. It's possible.
Yeah.
There are people that do that. But yeah, for me, it's like coming from a corporate entertainment world, you know that you always have to get certain things, and doing it long enough, I go into a shoot and I know that it's what is needed for the key art, for social, for all these different things. So I don't even think about it how I would shoot myself if I was out shooting for personal. And you do some of that. I mean, you bring your own style into everything, and that's important. Everyone should have their own style and their own thing. That's why you get hired most of the time. But when it comes to commercial, I'm thinking through it in a slightly different lens of you have to get what they need to go for the end product. So I'm thinking at the end product as opposed to just a great image, because I've had plenty of great images that I was like, oh, this is spectacular. They're like, yeah, but that's not going to work for a magazine cover or a billboard or whatever it may be, just because it doesn't fit. So then for my personal stuff, if I'm shooting my golf ball project, which is very specific, or family trips to hang on our own wall, I tend to be on those type of things a little more loose with it and just a little more fun and playful. Um, which can be good, and you should bring that into your commercial work. But I always say the most important thing is commercial, there's an end goal that you have to have in mind. And I think
Right.
that's important.
So I think that a personal project or something in which you're developing and showing your personal style aesthetic, what you like, right? Like the look that you like, can enhance your commercial work or your portfolio as long as there's sort of a bridge there when you're viewing the work. If you're showing work, let's say you're showing it on your website, on your portfolio, and you're showing a personal project that looks wildly different from your entire commercial portfolio, maybe that's okay as long as it's easy for somebody to understand that it's something different. Let's say that you're a commercial photographer who shoots only ad campaigns, and yet you have a personal project that maybe was a travel project to sub-Saharan Africa, and it's all in black and white and it's super gritty and it's shot on like 35 millimeter. I think most people would be smart enough to understand that is a separate project that you shot and that you want to show it maybe because it is really good and shows that you can do something else. But to really enhance it, it would be like showing work that is more stylistic, more artistic, more creative, but still looks and feels similar to the type of commercial work that's in your portfolio or the work that you're going after.
Yeah, because I think the most important thing when it comes to these like side projects and what I think about is, can it be replicated if you do something super creative and whatever? Can you easily replicate that and guarantee to get it for a commercial shoot?
Yeah.
Because I've seen people do this. I've done it where it's like, oh, this idea is great. We're going to do this thing and it's going to be that. But then logistically, it becomes impossible to do, to then sell it to someone and put it out there. So you have to find this like balance of, you want to continue to be creative and try different things and show different things in your work, but you got to make sure that it can be done at a high level and repeatable if you need it to be.
Yeah. I mean, I think repetition is a good point, right? If you have a personal project that's, let's say it's shot in the studio and it's super complicated and it's really based on having a ton of time to put together a single shot, and then there's a ton of post work that goes into it, and it's, and then a client wants that and you're like, great, we can do that. It's going to take a full day of shooting and a ton of money for post in order to get this one shot, and they're like, oh, that's fantastic, we can't afford it. You can't do that for that client, right? So that is, I guess, something to think about. But I do think it's a place where you can play, develop your style, show what you like to shoot, and potentially have things you can show to prospective clients and say, this is what I can do. And like maybe somebody will see it and it'll resonate with their brand or whatever they're looking for. And it might be a great way to get more work as well.
Well, and I also think it shows your personality and it shows you as a human being and what you want to do or what you care about. It could be a project that it's just a passion project for you. It could be a charity thing. It could be something that you are putting into because you care about it. And that will translate through the photos and whatever it may be. And you're not just this repeating button pusher that does the same thing over and over again, which pays the bills.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to do that, right? I mean, I think that in a lot of ways, having a unique style serves you sometimes, because if your work doesn't look like anyone else's work, people will immediately see it, they'll associate it with you, it's part of your brand. But also, that being said, if you're way far out there doing something totally different than everybody else, there's less likely a chance that brands that are looking for, just like, we do want a button pusher, we want something that's safe, we want it to look like our brand, they might not hire you because they might not think that you can deliver something similar to that. Which is why I do think that personal projects are a great way to share your work, but you do have to be a little careful in how far out on a limb you're going to kind of go, which, to your point earlier, some people don't show any personal work, and that's fine too. If you're getting a ton of work, your portfolio is fantastic, you're known for shooting a certain thing in a certain way, and that's the style everyone associates with you, is what they see in your portfolio. You don't have to put personal work out there. So that's kind of the first choice you have to make, right? Is, am I going to show any of my personal work or not? If it's not good, don't show it. I've seen photographers with great portfolios and they'll show some personal work, and I'm like, this just looks like travel photos taken on your iPhone at like a nice resort in Cancun. Why is this on your website? But then I've also seen the flip side of that, where people who do really creative, amazing projects does look similar to their commercial work, and I can see 100% why they put that on their website to kind of fill out the body of work.
Or you have to be careful. I have actually seen this of someone who is a commercial type photographer and works and then has a separate side project of semi-tasteful nudes.
I know who you're talking
And,
about.
yeah, and it's like, no, it's not it's not even who you're thinking
It's
about.
not
It's
what I'm
someone
thinking
else.
about.
Yeah, it's actually someone else that's more commercial than that person that you're
Yeah.
thinking of. And it's like, okay, if that's what you do, but it's like that could scare people away. That could make someone not want to work with you. That it's like there's a tendency there that's like, ooh, maybe that's not the person we want around everyone. And look, that's to each their own, whatever. But I have seen that, and I was like, oh, okay, well, if you're gonna put that out
Depends
there,
on the
do it.
industry you're in as well, right? Like if you're a fashion photographer and you're showing a personal project with, as you stated, semi something nudes.
Tasteful.
Yeah, tasteful. So if you're a fashion photographer and you are showing something like that, it does make sense. There's kind of a history of that in fashion and the fashion world. And if it's done really well and the work is really good, it could be good. But yeah, if you're a food photographer and your entire portfolio is food, and then you have a fashion project that doesn't look anything like your work and is a bunch of nudes, people might start to wonder what's going on, right? So I think there has to be a connection, at least with either the subject matter or the style or the creativity. There has to be some through line, some bridge that the personal work you're showing should enhance the rest of the portfolio, is the way I look at it.
Yeah, I think like if you're a portrait photographer and I've seen this where it's someone who is an entertainment portrait photographer, and then they do these portraits on the side of like, I saw one friend that did, it was like a retirement home, but did these like beautiful, classy portraits. And like, it shows that you can use that similar technique in the entertainment stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like how to weave that through. And it also shows if you can shoot normal people, like everyday average people, and make them look amazing. Guess what? A celebrity is going to be even easier because they know how to move and how to look and they have a certain thing. So it's like showing your abilities and then it's giving you more opportunity because of
Yeah,
that.
you can show your skill set off better, right? So there's kind of two things there, right? There's the skill and then there's the creativity, right? The part that you would actually call a style. So I think in a good way, you should absolutely show skills that you have that maybe aren't in your commercial work. Sometimes you're hired to do something. It's simple. It's just something on white. If you're hired to do a lot of those shoots, and you're maybe showing the final product or the key art or whatever it is, that's great. But sometimes you want to show that you could do a little bit more, something more creative, right? And maybe that's something that you're trying to get hired more for, right? So I think that's great. And then showing the skills, if you have skills that you're like, I can also do this and this and this, maybe you're trying to get work in different areas. Like you can show some of that as long as there's still some sort of a through line when you look at the work.
I mean, a great example is me with drones. Like, I
Yeah.
got a drone originally for fun to do like a golf course thing with some friends. It wasn't like serious at all. And I did a few things. I figured it out, did all the stuff, but then quickly got some really good jobs with that. And because I had just like posted it or shared it, and it was like, oh, those are cool. And some friends of mine that work for an agency were like, oh, we need some stuff around Atlanta of that. And it quickly has turned into multiple jobs with it.
Yeah. I've seen that quite a bit, especially with photographers that are trying something new, like drones is a great example. They start shooting for it as a personal project, but how do people necessarily know that you do it unless you tell them about it? And one of the great ways to tell people about it is to put that work out there.
Yeah. Fine. I'll keep putting more work out there. Stop yelling at me. All right.
Yeah. I like your hat, by the way. It's the Seattle Mariners Griffey one, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
But
Pretty
yeah,
good.
I think it's important to keep trying new things, keep trying your own stuff. Also, it keeps you from getting jaded or stale on what you are doing because it can be easy to do that in this commercial world to be like, oh, I'm doing the same thing again, or I'm doing this. And it's like you have to push yourself creatively. Otherwise, you're just going to lose your mind.
Yeah. So since we're talking about the sort of personal versus commercial stuff, I do think that in the commercial work that you're showing, you're going to be hired to do so many different things as a commercial photographer. There are things that are in your wheelhouse. There are things that you'll get hired for that aren't really in your wheelhouse. They're not the work you want to show. So that's where the editing of the portfolio comes in order to show your style too. There might be there might be great shots that you're like, this is a really good shot. I would love to share it out there and put it out there, whatever. But maybe it just doesn't match the rest of your style, right? It doesn't match what you typically do. It doesn't match what you're known for. Then that becomes something where you can still show it, but I wouldn't put it as part of your portfolio. And that's when I would put it on social media, use it as an advertising piece basically for yourself. But if it really just doesn't match the style, I think you have to cut it. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think, and it's hard because when you create something, it kind of becomes like you're attached to it and your story behind it. And you have to cut things down way more than you ever imagined because people aren't going to go on your website and look at 30 pages of portfolio pieces. And they're just not. You have to keep it to such a small number to really make it effective.
Yeah, the top 10 are most important, right? Like think of when your page loads on your website, whatever people see on that first page, the first image, the first images they can see, that is the hook, right? That's the moment in which people will make a judgment whether or not they want to keep poking through and looking at your work or not. So those first, 10 to 20 images really have to be super cohesive, your best work, showing your style, getting the point across. So you have to put some thought into it.
Yeah. And that's where you can have the personal section, the blog style section where it's like, hey, these are the personal projects that I've worked on. And if you need to like even have I've seen it where people even have a description about what it was and tell the story a little bit on the personal project.
Yeah, that's good for the blog. Also, that's great for SEO for your website.
Yep. And it's like, it just shows you that there's a story behind it, why you did it, and it makes it a different section, but you're still putting it out there in the world if that's what you want to share, which I think you should. I think it's important to share yourself a little bit more.
Yeah, I think people sometimes might even find you if you, let's say you have a really amazing personal project, something that you isn't just a test shoot, something that you do once, but something that you're actually consistently working on shooting more of, especially if it's like I don't know, documenting something or whatever it is. Having that type of work, something you're actually passionate about, maybe not getting paid for it at the moment, even though you can maybe license some of those photos or maybe they'll get published or something. Having that, some people might find you as a photographer from that project if it's a long-term project. So that's also something to think about. People get into shooting photography because of that. That's why people start shooting, right? At least back in the day, most people got into photography because of they loved the photojournalistic aspect of it, right? Documenting things. So think about that. If you don't have a personal project that you're passionate about, you don't have a personal project or personal work that you think is good, shoot something,
Yeah. And sometimes shoot it just to shoot it and shoot it because you want to. Don't always try to turn that into an outlet to sell things or a new way you're going to go about stuff. Just shoot it.
Yeah, just
Just like
shoot.
shoot it and enjoy it. Try something different. Go for it. If you want to like pitch it to someone, great. But like, it doesn't have to be to make money off of. It can just be to push yourself creative, like
Yeah.
in the creative side.
So probably 7, 8 years ago, I was working on some very creative art photography and I shot two different series, one that I spent 6 months shooting that I never showed to anybody. I just killed it because I started through doing one of them. I found something that I really liked, started shooting something else, very quickly dropped that, and then found something that I really liked. Ended up shooting that series for about a year and ended up doing a gallery show in Carmel with some of that work because I sort of built on something. So the first one that I shot, I never did anything with. I'd never, it was some interesting images out of it, but it was more playing with some techniques in camera and eventually found something that was really cool and I liked and other people liked. And even that was just for me. I was shooting it because I enjoyed shooting it. I was shooting it because I liked shooting it. A lot of people liked the work, but there wasn't a plan to make money out of it. Right. And I'm not a photographer. And so I would still say that I learned a lot creatively just through doing that and enjoyed doing it. And so for anybody that isn't currently shooting a personal project, it can help you develop your style and your skills. And it's something you should do, even if you don't show it.
And it'll just make you a more interesting person, hopefully.
Yeah, it will. I mean, I almost fell in the Pacific Ocean about a dozen times shooting the series I was working on. I
Yeah.
almost lost a tripod. It was a lot, got hit by a wave. It was super fun, but it'll just make you more interesting doing it.
Side note, I still need my camera back.
Yeah, I'll get it to you. Oh, I didn't use it for that one, but anyway.
Well, yeah, go out, shoot some interesting stuff, do something. You don't have to share it. If it's cool, if it's great, put it out there. Make yourself more exciting and create a style and give a reason for people to find you.
Yeah. So speaking about drones, we were talking about earlier, next week, the episode that's coming out is an interview with somebody who is an expert on drones. So if you shoot drones or are even interested a little bit in it, listen to it. I learned a ton because I don't know that much about drones, and the regulation stuff is fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's an old colleague of mine, and he has gone deep into that world, and less about the photo side of it, but all the regulations and all the things that are changing and coming up, and they're going to be really big this year. So it is important to pay attention of what you can and can't do with a drone going forward.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week.
See ya.